So yes, the first victims of the transatlantic slave trade started with a Taino. We also know that the reason why many African slaves were brought to the Americas was because many indigenous people were dying off either through disease or genocide, massacres. We were taken across the Atlantic first. And no, this isn't Depression Olympics. This is the truth being revealed and told. Because this is part of the indigenous erasure indigenous people go through when our histories are silenced, oppressed, and suppressed. Stop participating in that indigenous erasure. Or at least read the entire source, not cherry pick information. Have a day.
BGP. Good Lord. You're still going? And you're spreading more misinformation. I'm not even sure why you're discussing history anymore. We've already established this isn't your strong suit. I can't believe you said that. You seem to be saying crazier shit every time I see you. I'm not sure what's going on in that little head of yours, but strap in. We're about to debunk this misinformation you're spreading. Native Americans were victims of the transatlantic slave trade, but they were not the first victims of the transatlantic slave trade like you're claiming. This annoys me because I already covered this in a previous video. I'm just going to assume you didn't see that video. The Portuguese were already in Africa taking people in 1441. The Spanish didn't reach the Americas until 1492. That's a 50-year difference, ma'am. I think you once again have things confused. It is not commonly appreciated that the first target of slavery in West Africa were the Moors. The Portuguese and the Spanish referred to all Muslims regardless of racial differences as Moors. A description of the first raids has come down to us through the writings of the Portuguese writer Ajuara. In 1441, a certain young Portuguese Captain Galcals sailed along the coast of southern Morocco and Mauritania gathering ivory, animal hide, and sea lion oil for sale in Lisbon. Sensing an opportunity to capture more slaves, he authorized an ambitious raid the same year under a seasoned and experienced Captain Tristeo who was familiar with the Atlantic coast of West Africa. At first, the capture of a few slaves did not cause a stir in Lisbon. There were already many Muslim slaves in Portugal and Spain, just as there were Christian slaves in North Africa, captured in the frequent wars between the Christians and Muslims. The slaves on both sides were kept as domestic servants, subject to the norms of the respective cultures. But as the benefits of owning slaves became obvious to the richer merchants of Lisbon, and with the trade sanctified by the Pope, investment in slave ventures increased. In 1443, an expedition was financed and organized explicitly to capture more Muslims. The Maghreb was in an advanced state of political disintegration, and the presence of these predatory ships was hardly noticed in the palaces of the emirs, busy plotting against each other. By 1465, Portugal was transporting more than 1,000 slaves a year from southern Morocco, Mauritania, and Senegambia. The Portuguese continued their relentless advance along the African coast. Again, this was already happening in Africa. You are sadly confused, but you spoke with complete authority. This video will be a 2-for-1 today.
Try to educate on what the Chicano, Mexicano, Mexican, Latino, Hispanic are. So, and I understand why Sister would get involved and say what she did because she doesn't understand anything about Chicano. Chicano is an American phenomenon, okay? It's not a Mexican phenomenon. It's not a Canadian phenomenon. But along with that, you have to understand the relationship that we have with our Black brothers. There's two kinds of relationships that we have with them. It's not just above the water. It's not just in-law. It's outlaw. We have to learn to live with them in something called prison. And in that prison, there are certain terms that we call them, and there are certain terms that they call us. And so this man is right here, and it's sad that he would try to do it, and why I get angry when people do this to people. But he's sitting here and he's insulting you in front of your face, and because we aren't educated enough to understand or have the experience. In this case, it's experience, right? So the term Mexican is something that you hear in prisons. And you can tell by the way this brother talks, he's been there, he's done that. So this is what he's doing, is he's using a derogatory term, and probably his brothers and sisters are sitting in the back and laughing and really getting a kick out of what he's calling you guys. But once we get educated and once we learn what he's doing, then we can combat it. So this is what I did is when I heard him saying Mexican, it's not hard if you're an educated person to learn how to say certain things in certain vernaculars, in certain ways, and to know the semantics or should I say the game of semantics. So I identified what he was doing right off the bat. I know who he is. And this would lead me to my second thing is that right now, my culture, I'm a warrior. I'm here to defend my people, tooth and nail. So when a man comes up here and he starts using derogatory terms in a language that I wouldn't imagine any of you can identify, right? But he did it nonetheless. What I identify in this black man is that he's a wobble. He's a pretendian. You have to understand that. Hold on. You have to understand that our culture, my culture, is being assaulted right now by these people. I'm about to finish, brother.
Can I respond when you're done?
Well, of course.
No, he's not done. I'll let you respond in a second here, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I expect a response, brother. So these people are coming over here and doing something that was done to them. I go around and I talk about racism in America because I'm an unwilling expert in that field. And there's a new slave culture in town, people. There's a new slave culture and it's brown. It's no longer black. We do the jobs that Americans will not do. We're building America. When you pass by a job site, you see a bunch of brown people running that site. Nobody else. This is across America, people. This is not just in California, Texas.
Can I respond?
Yeah, when I'm done, brother.
All right.
So right now, the Chicano, the Mexicano, even the Latino, is being assaulted by black people who are not educated enough to have white people culturally appropriated a lot of their culture. And you see it all the time. Oh, they're wearing braids. Oh, can they dress like us? Oh, should they be able to say the N-word, right? All the while trying to claim indigeneity to my land, to my tierra. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, when I finish, brother, you can respond. Hold on.
All right.
The other part of it
he can respond.
Is that the sad thing about it is that this was done to them. And I say all the time that black racism is worse than white. Why? Because my black brothers have been through it and they should know better than to try to appropriate somebody else's culture. And the way they're going about doing this is totally backstabbing, totally bad. We know our history, brother. We know when we accepted you into the Cherokee, the Choctaw, even the Mohawk. We know that because that's our history and it's oral. We know when you came to Mexico. We know when we accepted you as our citizens without nothing attached. We didn't make you earn your keep. We didn't give you slave status when you came to our tierra. We accepted you with open arms, brother. And those were your sanctuaries, were the brown and red people that took you and saved you from being a slave at that time. And now this is our thanks for doing that for you. It's a slap in the face, brother, but I want you to explain to these women and the people on here is how you can square that with us in terms of indigeneity. I come from a place called Mexica. I come from a people that was in the beginning of time, brother, from 00. Not 1800s, not 1600s.
Yes, he is.
Way back. So that's my culture. We were here in the beginning. We're going to be here in the end. That's who we are, brother. So respond to that, but do it. And I want you to tell these ladies, these Chicanas, these Native Americans, how you feel comfortable trying to claim their Turtle Island.
Wait, hold on. Okay, first of all, how did I say Mexican wrong? How am I supposed to say it?
Again,
and how
brother,
did I say it?
Again, brother, when I was in that place, I know how you talk.
Wait, I never.
Let me ask you this, but let me ask you this. This is for educational purposes, TikTok. Do you know what a mayate is?
It's a slur. I've covered this one before also. Many called Kit Kat and La Chapa a mayate. Mayate is a racial slur for black people. It's literally the equivalent to the N-word in Spanish. Emiliano is no stranger to this platform. He's an extremely anti-Black Chicano that frequently hurls epithets at Black people on TikTok. Tons of Spanish speakers in this live stream, and everyone's pretending they didn't know what it meant.
Yeah, of course I do.
You fucking you know what it is, because I know what a Mexican is, and that's what we call ourselves when we're in there.
Wait,
don't
hold
try
on.
to pull any wool over anybody's eyes, brother, because we see you.
Wait, hold on. First, let me say this. When I first came on, and you said, brother, that felt good, right? I'm in Georgia.
I mean, I'm here for you, brother. I'm here for you. But when you try to take away my culture, when you try to take away my history, the way they try to do to you, I'm not. The Chicanos are warrior. Chicanas are warriors. They don't fuck around.
Huh?
Just like you.
You said something about
the queens. We don't have no priestesses. All we have is warriors. Those are the only ones that they left to us. Was those that know how to fight back.
Okay,
and that's what we're gonna do right now.
Okay.
Let him talk.
Yeah, let me talk. Number one,
mute up.
So I don't know the whole thing about the way I said it, Mexican, and me trying to be. I'm in Georgia. Never been to prison.
Have you been locked up?
No. Let me finish. I used to be in law enforcement. Never been locked up. So I don't understand what he's talking about. And I don't even understand. I asked him, so how did I say it wrong? I'm trying to understand. I'm in Georgia. I'm not wherever he's from. We say Mexican. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? You could have educated me and said, I know a little bit of history. That's how I knew, Mexica. But I don't know. So this whole thing of how I said Mexican, that goes over my head. And he's saying I was using it as some kind of derogatory term. I don't understand.
That's right. That's why. I mean, literally, that's why there's so much aggression out here, because there was actually one in the comments, but he got booted. But there's pretendians out here trying to claim this land here, trying to claim our history. So that's why there's so much aggression. And I do feel bad for other people that are not involved in it. But, I don't know how to fix that part. I really don't.
I mean, first of all, it starts a dialogue. If you would have just asked me, like if he had said, like he just assumed I've been to prison. I'm like, huh? He said, he assumed the way I said Mexican was used as a slander. The reason I know what y'all meant, my yete means is because I educate myself. The reason I knew Mexica or however you say it, because I other cultures interest me. So that he still hasn't told me the correct way to say Mexican. How did I say it the wrong way? So start there. Say, listen, brother, if you say it this way, that's it could be taken as a in a
you heard my sister
and then I'd be like, okay, cool. I didn't know that. That'd be something that I learned.
Yeah, but you heard my sister say it. She said Mexican, brother. When I say Africa, I don't say Africa.
So how did I say it? I still don't know how did I say it.
Africa, brother.
How did I say it wrong? How did I say it?
You said it's not Mexican. It's not with an S.
It sounded same to me. So
you did say it Mexican. It sounds funny, but yeah.
And I understand it. It's just these women don't. And so saying that
I don't understand.
I'm again. That's why I come up here, brother. I got to educate. And
I still don't understand the difference.
So we know better.
No, you said Mexican with S. Yeah.
Huh? Say what now?
You said it with like a S, like a Mexican, and it's Mexican.
Oh.
Yeah, you said it.
I mean, listen. I'm in the South, man. I'm from Georgia, bro. I don't know not. Come on now. Yeah, no. But all they gotta do is say. Listen. So now I just learned, because I still was like, how am I saying it different? You just now educated me on the S. So use the X, right?
So the point is, we ventured way off from the Buffalo Soldier topic. Just because of some AAV.
Yeah.
Come on.
But now you know. At least now you know.
Yeah.
Like,
now I know. It was that simple. Don't assume.
That's such a waste of time.
All
you could have said was say it with the X instead of an S. All you had to say, man.
Exactly.
Telling them.
Yeah.
That's it right
Yeah.
there.
Nope.
Yeah, just turn
So
out
that's
the
what under the bridge. But yeah, don't think I would come here and trying to insult anybody. Like I said, I'm from Georgia, man. I was talking fast, so no, it ain't that deep,
And
man.
that makes sense. If you look in the comments, Luna Bell, the way she said you say it, that's exactly what it sounds like, Mexican. You know? So
Okay.
so yeah, you just gotta pronounce it right.
Yeah, but you also gotta understand that in between you kind of do that with that, but it's a word, and it's not. It's derived from 3 Nahua words. Just like our Spanish is not Spain Spanish. It has a lot of indigenous words in it.
Correct.
It would come from a black book.
I'm sorry.
Mayeta. What's the origin of that word?
We'll let the ones from that era. I'm indigenous. I'm Native American, so I don't know. American Indian, so I don't know. But I'll let them answer.
I'm Native.
okay.
I got all the races in my family, all of
I'd
them.
like to leave it up to
I wouldn't speak on that because it's not my. It's not.
No, the brother who addressed me, the brother who addressed me, he can get a definition for it, or the origination of the word.
So the origination of the word comes from prison. This is the way that we use our vernacular.
I thought it was a country.
No. This is a puro
Central America, the word Mexico. Pretty sure.
My understanding came from that it was a black bug.
Well, that's what it is. Well, a terron is a black bug. And it's another name that we would refer to you as. But what I'm saying, brother.
Oh, dang, you laughed a
These
little
are
bit.
these women here. Hold on, brother. These women here. These are elders of our people, and they need to be respected. And if that's not happening, I'm gonna call you on it. Now, whether you're doing it intentionally or unintentionally, that's what we need to find out. Right? Is what's going on. So that's what I was doing, plain and simple. When you speak to these women. Whether they expect it or not, hold on. Let me just finish, brother, because I got to get on. Whether you speak, when you're speaking to these women, whether you think so or not, they have to we have to start demanding that they be spoken like the women that they are. These are not young little girls. These are not giggling. They're not giggling. These are teachers of men. So when we start demanding that they be treated like that, is the only time that they're going to start being treated like that, and that's what we're going to start doing, brother.
Yeah, I respect that, and I believe that's across the board, But yeah, I respect that, and